The crystalline chamber hummed with ancient energy as frost patterns dissolved from its transparent walls. Deep within the heart of Luna Station, buried beneath 3 millennia of accumulated lunar dust and technological evolution, the cryogenic pod began its final awakening sequence. Warning lights that had blinked faithfully for 3,000 years now pulsed with urgent intensity. Captain Marcus Kane stood before the viewing panel, his weathered hands pressed against the cool surface. The woman inside appeared exactly as she had when the chamber sealed shut in the year 2157. Her auburn hair floated in the preservation fluid, and her face remained untouched by time. The genetic modifications that had once made her humanity's greatest weapon now served only to maintain her perfect stasis. "Sir, her vital signs are stabilizing," reported Lieutenant Torres from the monitoring station. "Brain activity is returning to normal patterns. She should regain consciousness within the hour." Kane nodded slowly, never taking his eyes from the sleeping figure. He had read her file countless times over the past decade since they discovered this hidden facility. Dr. Elena Vasquez, the last of the Enhanced, humanity's final answer to the Voron invasion that had threatened to exterminate their species. She had volunteered for the experimental procedure, allowing scientists to push her body beyond human limits, becoming something more than mortal flesh and blood. The year was now 5157, and humanity had not merely survived the alien onslaught. They had thrived. The solar system bustled with human colonies, trade routes, and mighty fleets that patrolled the outer reaches. Earth itself had been restored to a garden world, its scars from the ancient war long healed. The Voron Empire, once seemingly invincible, had crumbled into dust and memory. But the promise remained unfulfilled. Kane turned to address the small gathering of officials who had traveled from across the system to witness this moment. Admiral Chen represented the Solar Defense Force, while Director Park spoke for the Colonial Council. Dr. Thompson, the leading expert on enhanced physiology, monitored every reading with intense concentration. She was told that if humanity survived the war, we would wake her when the threat was gone, Kane explained to the assembled group. 3,000 years ago, our ancestors made that promise to a woman who sacrificed everything for our species. Today, we honor that commitment. The chamber's systems chimed softly as drainage began. The preservation fluid receded slowly, revealing Elena's enhanced form. Her skin bore the faint metallic sheen that marked all enhanced individuals, and the neural ports along her spine glowed with residual energy. Even in stasis, her body had maintained the genetic modifications that made her faster, stronger, and more resilient than any baseline human. Elena's eyes fluttered open, revealing irises that shimmered with unnatural silver light. She drew her first breath in 3 millennia, the sound echoing through the chamber like a whisper from the distant past. Her gaze swept across the room, taking in faces she did not recognize and technology that had evolved far beyond her era. "Where am I?" she asked, her voice hoarse from disuse. The universal translator implanted in her neural cortex automatically adjusted to the linguistic changes that had occurred over the centuries. Kane stepped forward, his expression gentle but serious. "You're on Luna Station in the year 5157. My name is Captain Marcus Kane of the Human Space Navy. You've been in cryogenic stasis for exactly 3,000 years. Elena struggled to sit up, her enhanced muscles responding despite the lengthy dormancy. She studied Kane's uniform, noting the insignia she didn't recognize and the subtle technological improvements in the fabric itself. "The war," she whispered. "The Vorons. Did we win?" "We did more than win," Admiral Chen interjected, stepping forward with obvious pride. "We drove them back beyond the galactic rim. The Voron Empire collapsed 2,000 years ago. Humanity now controls 17 star systems and maintains peaceful relations with over 40 alien species." Elena's silver eyes widened as she processed this information. She had expected to wake up to either victory or defeat, but never to such complete transformation of human civilization. "The enhanced program," she asked. "What happened to the others?" Dr. Thompson cleared his throat uncomfortably. "You were the last, Dr. Vasquez. The others fell during the final battles of the war. Your sacrifice, along with theirs, turned the tide when all seemed lost." A shadow crossed Elena's face as she absorbed the weight of loss. She had known the risks when she volunteered for enhancement, but the reality of being the sole survivor struck her with unexpected force. "I see," she said quietly. "And now? What becomes of me in this new world?" Director Park stepped forward with a warm smile. "That choice is entirely yours, Doctor. Humanity has not forgotten its debt to you and your fellow Enhanced. We've prepared resources for your integration into modern society, including updated education, housing, and whatever career path you might choose. You're not an artifact or a curiosity. You're a hero who deserves to live whatever life brings you fulfillment." Elena looked around the chamber one more time, her enhanced senses taking in details that escaped normal human perception. She could hear the heartbeats of everyone present, smell the recycled air of the station, and feel the subtle vibrations of the massive structure around her. After 3,000 years of dreamless sleep, the sensory input felt overwhelming, yet wonderful. "I have a question," she said, turning back to Kane. "How did you find me?" "The facility was classified beyond the highest security levels." Kane smiled, the expression transforming his stern features. "Your own records led us here. Before entering stasis, you left detailed instructions with the Soul Defense Archives. You specified that if humanity survived for more than 2,000 years, we should begin searching for hidden enhanced facilities. You wanted to ensure that your sacrifice wasn't forgotten and that the promise of awakening would be kept." Elena laughed, the sound carrying both joy and melancholy. Even in her darkest hour, facing an uncertain future in cryogenic sleep, she had planned for this moment. She had trusted in humanity's capacity for growth, honor, and remembrance. She stood slowly, her enhanced physiology adjusting to movement after millennia of stillness. Looking at each face in turn, she saw the descendants of the people she had fought to protect. They were different now, changed by time and technology, but still recognizably human in their curiosity, compassion, and determination. "You kept your promise," she whispered, her voice carrying the weight of ages. "Thank you." As Elena took her first steps into a future beyond her wildest imagination, the stars outside Luna Station shone with the light of human colonies scattered across the galaxy. The Enhanced had saved humanity, and humanity had proven worthy of that salvation. The circle was complete, but the story was just beginning.